What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another girl talk. Welcome back to the pink room. It's your girl Chi, as always. I'm gonna just get right into it. We are talking about being your authentic self, being true to who you actually and naturally are. Baby, when I tell you, it is so important to remain in your authenticity, because this world, certain people, your job, life will try to break you down and try to get you to conform, get you to be like the majority. And when has that done anybody good? I'll wait. For me, I know that authenticity, or being my true self, being my authentic self, has helped me, blessed me more than being any other version of what other people expect me to be has ever done for me. Like, I used to struggle being fully myself because I never truly felt accepted. I never really truly felt like I could be myself. I never really felt like being CHIAMAKA was enough. My story on becoming more authentically myself, girl, guys, whoever is watching, it stems all the way back to probably when I first experienced, I'm trying to think back to when I stopped truly being myself. And okay, so I had to pause and really process, because I was like, when did I lose my authentic self? Like, when did I forget to truly be CHIAMAKA? And one, I don't think I had a sense of self. Like, I feel like it stemmed from a lot of trauma that I grew up in, a lot of not good situations, like so abuse and, you know, being taken advantage of, and, you know, just all the negative things that children should not experience. So, like, I could tell you, when, before all the trauma, before all the stuff that I had been through, like, I could see, like, CHIAMAKA. I was, you know, boisterous, loud, extra, the superstar, like, that girl. And then somewhere along the line, between, I would say about 8, 9, till about somewhere in my early 20s. Wow, that's a long time. I lost myself. I did not feel that my sense of self was developed because I wasn't cultivated in a safe space. I wasn't cultivated in a space where being who I was okay. I was shamed a lot. I was ridiculed, criticized immensely for just being myself. And so I had to just conform, or I had to adapt to whatever was acceptable, or what was more celebrated or appreciated. This was at home, this was at school, this was at work, this was in so many different places. And because it didn't start at home, the development of my sense of self and my self-esteem and all those things, it trickled in every other area of my life. And so had I had a solid foundation and development of loving myself, having high self-esteem, a sense of self, and just being true to myself, even when I step out into the world, like the workspace, school, any kind of environment, and I was being challenged, or, you know, told I couldn't be truly myself, I would have that foundation of, no, like, this is who I am, this is how I've been encouraged to be, and you gonna accept it. But no, I didn't have that. I didn't have that foundation. I was already ridiculed and shamed in the environment that I was growing up in. So of course that impacted the way I saw myself in all other spaces. I'm in high school, college, and not really just I just could see that version of myself. I really felt, oh man, just thinking back to it makes me sad. I felt like I became more angry. I became more negative. Oh my god. Oh girl, don't even let me get into it because I'm gonna start crying. Ah, that's sad. Because I see exactly the person that I turned into that I wasn't even trying to turn into. It was just because that was my environment. Yo, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I saw myself being a lot more angry, a lot more aggressive, a lot more negative. And then even like quiet too. More reserved, more to myself. And in the times that I did express, it was very negative and angry. And I just was like, wow. I'm sorry, y'all. Ooh, damn. All right, y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry. I had to just process what was coming up because that was a very heavy realization. That's why it's so important to do your work. It's so important for you to go to therapy. It's so important for you to heal from whatever trauma and abuse that you experienced, because if you don't heal from that, you become it, and then you can express it in ways that are very detrimental, not only to the people around you but to yourself. And man, I am a wreck. Oh my god, that's crazy. I didn't realize how triggering this conversation is going to be. I thought I was going to sit here and talk about be yourself and be authentic, and it's going to lead to that, but I really feel this heavy need to talk about healing your inner child, forgiving yourself for who you became that traumatized you, and make decisions and choices that aid to your healing and aid you back to your true self. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. This is crazy. Oh man. Yo, this is wild. I did not think I was gonna talk about my trauma. I didn't think I was gonna talk about none of that. I didn't even want to get into all that. I just wanted to talk about being your authentic self because I feel like I've come to a place of, just fully embracing who I am. In high school, like I was saying before, I was a very reserved, quiet to myself, but angry, aggressive girl. And I mean, I socialized, I was here and there, but you know, I felt like I just didn't even know how to really be myself. I didn't know if I was accepted or loved or, wanted by the people I was around. And that followed me even in college. And it was just kind of this vicious cycle because I had this unworthiness within myself and felt this like shame all the time, or just felt this like, I'm like I'm lucky to even be in the same room as some of these people, so let me just adjust myself to make sure I continue to remain likable or continue to be acceptable. Like that was my mentality. And then in my expressions, I was very negative. Didn't realize it too. I was real negative, real aggressive, and angry. And because people don't like that, people are turned off by that type of energy, they don't want to be around you. So it fed into the unworthiness that I already felt, the loneliness that I felt. Oh my God. Yeah. And I just think about the person that did the abuse to me, that made me like this. I can't even imagine how lonely he must feel, how sad, how dark, how unworthy, how ashamed he must feel. That's gonna be another video. That's gonna be another video. Holy. All right, child. Wow. I'm thinking girl talk gonna be for y'all, but it's really for me. The work. So we are gonna get through it, okay? Wow. Wow, this is heavy. I'm clearly gonna have to have like a little crying session when I'm done filming this, because it is really triggering. Oh, I didn't bring my tissue. I needed that because I'm crying again. Okay, we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. Tears and everything. Okay. Sorry, y'all. This was not supposed to happen. I was not trying to cry. I was not trying to get emotional. I'm really trying to stop the waterworks, but I didn't realize how much I just didn't realize how heavy that was for me. I mean, I've processed through my trauma, but I guess I hadn't really processed through how I became my abuser. All right, child. Lord, see, when you have a plan, when you have a plan and God just be okay. Anyways, I experienced a lot of trauma growing up. Let's just get into it. I experienced a lot of trauma, abuse, shame. Abuse that I experienced was a lot of physical, emotional, verbal abuse, mental abuse, all of that. And I became a very angry girl. I became a very negative, just sad and depressed girl. And the energy that I put out was very negative, angry, depressed, feeling unworthy, feeling like I didn't belong anywhere, feeling just really sad. And it's crazy that, you know, you hear it all the time, like, oh, like, you become like your parents, or the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Like, you hear that all the time, but it just doesn't feel like a for real thing sometimes until you're actually like living it or reflecting on the validity of that statement. And so I just think about like all the times that I would cry to God for friends, or cry to God for connection and relationship, or just to feel loved, because I was so alone. I was lonely. I was feeling just like nobody cared about me. Man. Oh, here's my tissue. I found it. Dog, this is crazy. This is really wild. So I told you guys about high school, college, pretty much similar, like getting into fights, angry, losing friends, couldn't keep friends, and just, you know, not being able to like truly like be myself. Again, I felt like, okay, well, however I'm being is clearly not acceptable, and I'm not even aware that I'm being any kind of way. So let me just pretend to be something else. I don't know. So about a few months into my freshman year of college, I found God and I got saved. These people, came up to me and ended up taking me to their church, and the rest is history. So in that, I felt like, okay, like I found something that could, help me feel a little bit better, feel some peace, feel some kind of security in what I already felt like was insecure, not stable. And I was walking this Jesus life out, this Christian life out, but it just didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel like I was being myself. I felt like I had to like pretend to be like this good girl, or pretend to be this like, and not even, I wouldn't even say I was pretending, but I would say I was more so like, okay, well, I got to do all these things to be saved, or to be in God's good graces. And again, just this same performance. I felt like I had to perform. There we go, that's the word. I felt like I had to perform in order to be accepted, not only by the people that I was, around in a month, but even for God. And I struggled with that for years. I'm telling you, I got saved at 18. It wasn't up until about, I would say last year. So that's almost 10 years of me having to be this version of myself that wasn't really true. I felt like I had to like just be, I don't know how to describe it, y'all. Like, I wish I could just say it so it makes sense, but like, I really feel like I was just like trying to be a version of myself that was acceptable to the Christians and to all kinds of other people, but not really be myself. And so when I graduated from undergrad and I was like alone for about 6 months, that's when I went on a journey. That was the first of several journeys I had to go through of coming to the awareness of myself, of CHIAMAKA. That's when I came to the realization that I had experienced abuse and trauma throughout my early childhood and teenage years. And that's when I started doing therapy. I had actually started therapy, I think it was my junior year of college. So I had started therapy a couple years prior to that, but that's when I like really came to the realization like, oh, you were abused. You were traumatized. You have been through so much that has made you into someone that is not truly who you are. And it's made you angry, it's made you aggressive, negative, all these things. And so I started doing work. I started trying to like, affirm myself and fix myself and heal myself. And then I also came to the realization that I didn't have a sense of self. I didn't really know who I was. I didn't know what I felt, what I liked, what I wanted. I didn't know myself. I was very much just kind of like here. I wasn't truly living. I was just existing. I was just here and kind of living vicariously through, what I thought I liked, or what was acceptable, or what people wanted, or just people in general. Like, I didn't really know myself. I didn't know who I was. And so I had to walk through a season of really just healing that version of myself, like grieving what I didn't get. I had to grieve that I didn't have, the childhood that I wanted to have, or I didn't have the certain parental figures that I needed in order to be developed in a loving and safe way. I didn't necessarily have the tools in order to know my worth and, have high self-esteem and high self-confidence. I had to grieve all of that. I had to go through a process of just like being sad that I didn't get that, because I would see other girls that had so much confidence, that had, that spirit, and I connected to them. Like, internally I was like, I fuck with that spirit. Like, I feel like that's me, but I'm not expressing that. Like, I'm expressing something completely different that is not what I want to express. And then what I'm expressing is a turn off to people. So I started grad school, and started studying to become a therapist, which oddly enough was funny that I'm pursuing this career path before I even came to the realization that I had been through some things that needed therapy. Okay, I'm gonna have to tell y'all my whole story on that in another video. But so I'm living on my own now. I'm like for real for on my own. Like in undergrad, I had roommates and stuff, and of course before college, living at home. So I'm like for real by myself now. Like I have nobody telling me what to do. I have no like other people kind of just influencing how it should be or how I should act. It's just me, myself, and I and God. And now of course, I still have friends. I was still going out and hanging out with folk, and you know that was right before COVID too. So I was having that experience, but I always came back to myself. And I started doing my work. I started healing. I started just, you know, like realizing like, girl, like this is who you are. But I hadn't even really fully come to the fullness of it yet. Like I was able to get a piece of it. And I'm also growing in my relationship with God, but I really didn't, and this is gonna have to be another video too, because like I struggled with my relationship with God because I was battling so many different things within myself. And so I'm gonna put a pin in that because I definitely feel like that's a video for the girls that I need to share with you guys, because I feel like this will set y'all free. Dealing with certain friends that I feel like, again, I had to, you know, conform and be a certain way. Like now I feel like I'm not Christian enough. Now I don't feel, you know, saved enough or like accepted as a woman of God and who I am as CHIAMAKA. And it's not separate. They're together. I mean, I am CHIAMAKA, who is a woman of God and follows Jesus. There is no, I'm a woman of God, I believe in Jesus, and there's this version of myself. Like, no, it's all together. And I feel like I couldn't really sit in the authentic version of myself up until last year. Last year was when I started doing a lot of unlearning. Last year was when I started doing, like, last year was a very stripping, dark year, at least like the first half of 2023, because that's when I had to, yeah, my camera overheated. I don't know where I was at. I think I was talking about, I had that season alone where I was able to come to the realization of just a portion of who my true self was, because again, like this is a discovery that takes really a whole life, but I just started a little bit late, and it's okay. It's okay. I was like, okay, no, I know that I love God. I know that I believe and I want to, you know, live right and do all these things to please him and to honor him. And I know this is who I am, that doesn't necessarily really feel accepted by not even the Christian culture, but God himself. I feel like I couldn't be CHIAMAKA. I couldn't be, you know, with my flavor and all my energy and my vibe and how I come with my hoops and my nails and my hair and, you know, like, and the way I talk, my slang, and be CHIAMAKA, and I rap and I do all these things. Like, I felt like that, because it wasn't, it didn't feel, I won't say it wasn't, but it didn't feel, because I could read energy. I know the people I'm talking about. I didn't really feel this acceptance. In my mind, I received it as, oh, well, then God don't accept me. I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna have to make another video on this because I don't want to make this video longer than it needs to be. But what I'm essentially trying to say is heal, do your work, figure out where you lost yourself, figure out where you became just unaware of who you truly are. Get to a place where you really ask yourself, like, am I really truly authentically being me? I had to go through a period, and I think this is where the camera cut off, but I had to go through a period where I had to just be with God. Like, I was in a very dark, sad season, and that's when I was really asking God the hard questions. I was really just letting myself be myself, like being God's daughter. I was allowing myself to just be with God. I wasn't performing. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't have to feel like I had to put on to be loved or accepted. Like, I was just like, God, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. This is who I am. This is how I show up. You still love me? You still accept me? Because if you still love me and accept me as I am, then baby, I don't give a damn what anybody else thinks, you know? And I came to that truth and that realization that God made me as I am. He knew who I was before I was even born in my mother's womb. Like, he formed me just as I am. He knew where I would be born. He knew how I would grow up. He knew the experiences that I would experience that made me who I am today. That adds to the flavor in my spirit, the way my spirit is just expressed. He knew. So why would I allow what anybody else thinks and how anybody else treats me impact the way I continue to show up and express myself? Being authentically myself has set me so freaking free. I want to cuss so bad. But it has set me free. I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. I don't care how people feel about my energy and this and the third. Because when I've done my work, so I know that my energy, my intentions are always to have pure energy. And I know for a fact that I do everything as much as I can through God. And I know who the fuck I am, okay? I know I'm cute, I'm fly, and I'm fine, okay? I know I'm cute, I'm fly, and I'm fine. I'm alive, baby. I'm a therapist, I'm a healer, I'm a rapper, artist, all the things. And so being able to just do all the things to be myself has blessed me more than performing has ever done in my life. Being myself has blessed me. Being authentically me, myself and I, has blessed me more than any performance or fake personality has ever done for me. And so for those that are doing that, I know that's like from a survival tactic. It's from this place of wanting to belong, this place of wanting to be accepted and loved. And I get it. I've been there before. I really feel like I need to reiterate the importance of truly doing your work, healing from your trauma, because I don't truly think that you can get to your authentic self until you unpack all the stuff that has happened to you, and that you come to a realization of why you were put on this earth, why God has created you, why you matter. You know, you have to know for yourself why you matter, why you're important, what your purpose is, and who you are. You got to know who you are before you step out into the world and tell people who you are. If you don't know who you are, everybody gonna define you. You're gonna pick up other personalities and ideas and thoughts and things that are not even true to who you are, because you don't even know who you are. You don't have that sense of self because you may have been through some kind of trauma or abuse, or just wasn't developed in a way that was nurturing and caring for your spirit and who you were supposed to become. But that's okay. Well, it may not truly be okay, but God redeems, right? God will redeem that time that was taken from you, that was stolen, that was lost. And if you're intentional with your work, if you're intentional with doing the healing work and loving yourself, affirming yourself, grieving what you didn't get, like doing that work, then also doing the work of being affirmed by God, the truth of who you are, and that He loves you the way He created you, and to really truly understand like how to live a prosperous and fulfilling life based off just walking with God and being truly His soul. The beauty and the fulfillment that comes out of that, of authentically being yourself. You don't have to perform. Unpacking this clearly requires multiple moments. This is not just a one-time thing. This is going to take some time. This is going to be a process. And that's okay. We all have to go through a process when it comes to anything in life. And so this is just one of those things. If you find yourself lonely, without friends, questioning why people don't like you, questioning why things never work out for you, questioning why you're always depressed, you're always angry, you're always irritated, you're always negative, questioning why people always say the same things about you, of being aggressive or angry or all the things, it might be time to tune back into you. Maybe go and see a therapist. Maybe really just process, like, what did I walk through? What did I experience growing up? What did I consume? What was that, poured into me growing up, and how did I become? Who am I? And once you come to that realization, forgive yourself. Go through the process of forgiving those that harmed you. I know a lot of people may fight me on this, but you have to do that too. And it's not for them, it's for you. Another video for another day. And then if you truly are committed to a better life, you got to get with God. You got to get with God. You got to get with God. I'm telling you, you got to get with God. For those that don't believe, I don't know what to tell you. But for those that truly are believers, that truly want that change, you got to get with God. Ask him, who am I? Why did you create me? Why am I here? What is my purpose? What's the point? Like, get real. Get real. I had to get real with him. I had to be like, I don't feel like reading this word. I don't feel like, but clearly you had me for some reason. So what's up? Like, get real with him. Get raw with him. And then, I don't know, it just kind of happens where you get the answers, you get the clarity, not in that instant moment, or maybe, I mean, everybody different. Everybody's experience with God is different. I know for me, it was a process. Over time, I was able to really just accept myself the way that I am, love myself the way that I am, and truly just embrace being authentically CHIAMAKA, regardless of what other people think. Because you know what? Now the true people that are for me are in my life, and they accept me as I am. I don't have to perform. I don't have to do anything beyond anything. I don't have to do anything beyond who I truly am. And I'm still loved. When I was performing, though, I had all kinds of fucking people that I wasn't supposed to be around. And that just continued the trauma, the cycle, the fucked upness of it. But when I was able to really surrender and be for real and raw with God and heal in all the different journeys of isolation that I had to be in, the freedom. So my battery's about to die. I have so much I could say on this. I feel like I'm gonna have to let my camera charge, and I'll hop back on here and continue more if I feel the spirit leading me to do so. But allow yourself to do the work and be reminded of the truth of who you are, especially for those that you feel like you've lost yourself. This is your sign to find yourself again. Do the work, heal, forgive yourself, and then remind yourself of who you are. Let God remind you of who you are, and then walk in it. Walk in all the things. Be authentically you. I promise you, it will bless you more than any performance or personality that's not truly who you are will ever do. Simple as it. So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was probably way longer than you guys expected. It was way longer than I expected. But hey, we're here. So I hope it blesses you. So thank you again for tuning in. I love y'all, and I'll see you on the next Girl Talk.